Alrighty. Hey, Robin, I just saw the email too. Is there a problem with the website? Let me go to it and just double check. Alrighty. Pro. Hey, Pro. How you doing? Good morning to you all. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening because it's 7:30 Eastern Standard Time a.m. in the morning here in the States. On the East Coast, of course, as I just said. And it is 9:30 p.m. in Tokyo, so it's a global thing. Sir, please tell me how to follow your course from where to start. Oh, that's a good question. Well, we can do it interactively right now. So what we can do is we can explain. We can go like, in other words, right now you can see on the screen, you see J4X right here for it's Dukascapi's trading platform. And we have a couple of public indicators. Let's identify them for you. Like that right there. It's a fast, this is the green line is a fast moving stochastic, and it's the D. And the dotted line is a slow moving stochastic, and that is also a D. And it's a 5-3, and the fast is a 5-3. All right, and then up here is Hinky-Ashki bars and overlaid. So in other words, when you look at it, let's see if I can turn it off, you'll see the regular bars right there. And then there's the Hinky-Ashki. And what they do is they kind of match up to my proprietary mathematics. And it's the closest thing you can get, as far as I can tell so far, of something that matches relative to my math right here. Now, this is my invented mathematics since 1970 something, late 70s. So this is the daily here. This is the weekly. And we like it when we're in a weekly and then you get a buy signal and we throw a line in just to identify it. But what it really comes down to is that make it larger, the green line and the histogram go through the zero line on the daily, puts it into a buy. It can have a no dot or a green dot. If it's a red dot, then we wait for the next day. In this case here, there's a green and a red, so it can't go into the sell even with it underneath. And then the following day, we get back up over the zero line, and it has a red dot, and you're still in the buy from this signal right here. Obviously not doing well with it, of course. And then it catches fire and goes up. And this one was a kind of a laggard one. A lot of times there's a lot of instant gratification. About 85% of the time, it's almost the following day, or so forth. Or within hours, it takes off. Now, this is the weekly signal, doing the same rules right here. I am an extreme beginner. Okay, it's sometimes I feel like a beginner too. So don't sweat it. Let's put it that way. As I take a sip of my tea. So, like I said, it's 7:30 something in the United States. So at this point, underneath is the weekly signal. And when the weekly signal, when the green gets above and the histogram is above, and we put a little green line in there, it tells us that the longer term or weekly trend is in a buy. So we say you take the buys, but don't take the sells. Take profits off the sells, but don't get short. And then vice versa. And then if you're using derivatives, option derivatives, then there's a whole more controlled, less risk strategy versus trading the underlying product or the hard delta or the forex or the cash or however you want to describe it. Does that make any sense so far, Pro? We'll wait for your answer there. And at the same time, we'll take a peek at what's going on in the marketplace as we wait for Pro to confirm that he or she feels comfortable with the description. All right. And you can see here, dollar is moving up because interest rates are going up in value. I have to laugh at that. Mr. Powell definitely earned his keep yesterday. They kicked them around, and he kicked them back. And it was the old Humphrey Hawkins, and another testimony again today. Praise Powell. It's another testimony. So he will be in front of the Congress again talking about this, that, and the other things that he likes to do and wants to do and wishes to do. And we'll see how that goes. the most I can say about what I heard about Powell overall was he needs to grow a spine. In other words, he's being very wishy-washy. He's not blaming the government for the inflation when they are the government, and at the same time they are a major part of the government, and the government itself is the one forcing them to spend all that cash, that do-re-mi. So it's a little disappointing overall. What about it, Pro? How's that look? Does that make sense to you? I can describe it again. If you want me to repeat it, I can gladly repeat it. It's no problem at all. And I'll describe the indicators you're seeing on the two different charts. Okay? So just let us know. Now, from there, what else can we say? Oh, yes, over here on the Chicago Quant chart, you can see, as we said, the Pro, it's in a daily buy now for a bunch of days, and it's in the weekly buy. So it's just pushing up, and away, and it's not really doing anything else but telling us that they want to buy this stuff. They want to buy the pairs trade and sell the other currency, which is always a disappointment to me because we want the dollar to be lower, not higher, and the damn thing just keeps on climbing. So that's always the frustration here. And we've gone through the litany of how us older traders see the view of the dollar, and that is we were always hoping for a second currency out there on the planet that could pick up the slack, and that's what the euro unit is all about, is being able to pick up the slack. And then everybody runs to like the yen and the British pound and so forth. Unfortunately, China doesn't really have a currency that can be utilized. It's sad because they seem to want to participate on some level. I think they want to be king of the world more than anything else, but they to straighten out the situation, they'd have to have a floating currency first to be able to be king of the world. And if they did that, then I guess you would find out that the emperor has no clothes. So they won't make it for someone that, you always hear somebody that always says they want to do something, they know they want to do this, they want to do this, but that's all they talk about year after year after year, and it's been 10, 12 years now. They want to be the largest economy in the world, they want to be the world reserve currency, but they don't have a currency. It's like, we'll start a currency. Oh, we're going to back it with gold. Good, back it with gold. And they said that 8 years ago. They said that 6 years ago. They said that 4 years ago. They said that 2 years ago. Then they said they were going to back it with gold and oil in between those 10 years. But it still doesn't happen. All they do is talk. Talk. But they don't do. All they do is talk. So these are the major currencies minus China because they don't have a currency. And that's just a fact of life. And when they get one, I'll be the first to cheer and play and trade it at the same time. Alrighty. Again, Pro, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? My sound is working, right? Everybody hears me, right? Where are you, Pro? Let me just double check my sound to make sure that I can hear me. Come on. There we go. Let's see. Okay, good. You hear me. All right. So Pro has disappeared. Well, Pro, when you get back up and running, give us a yell, and we'll go deeper into this subject. I have no problem trying to describe the math and how it works. All right. So let's looking at the currencies. There's the dollar index, as we talked about, and it's going up and away. And why is it going up and away? I'll show you very easily why it's going up and away. It's because now that's not looking bad at all, is it? It's rising. When this rises, interest rates are dropping. That's the 30-year. Now it's the short term that's freaking them all out. Here's the 5-year bond right there. And you can see it's still dropping. And when it's dropping, it's lower than yesterday and the day before and the day before. And it's taken out the low of 5 days ago. And you can see it's working its way down, that's for sure. And we could even find out what the yield is, too. Where's that mouse at? Whatever it is. The yield is like over 5%. Here, we'll find it in a second. Put it up on the screen for you so you can see the yields. And so this is why the currencies are losing against the dollar. Because you can see right here, the 1 month US T-bill is trading at 4.7% interest, and 2 month and 3 month. The 3 month is almost at 5%. The 4 month is at 5% over it. As you can see here now, we've got a bunch of them all the way out to 2 years. It's at 5%. The 5 year is trading at 4.32% right there. That's what we just looked at. Excuse me. So because of the interest rates rising, people buy dollars and they sell their currencies for the arbitrage of it. All right. So that's the example of that. Now, one of the things that's caught my eye is, Bitcoin was really surprising me. I got a little tickle in the throat. Bitcoin was really surprising me because, it was not leading. I thought, something's wrong here. The stock market's going up, and Bitcoin is not. See if we can get rid of that tickle. I even have a little piece of gum in my mouth at this point. Bitcoin kind of leads the stock equities, of recent, like the last 6 months or so, maybe even longer. And so when we go and look at Bitcoin, the number one crypto, as far as I can tell, right there, you can see, it's been breaking down for weeks. The fast and slow stochastic have been having problems dropping underneath the manifold. And you can see here, last week it dropped underneath there, or 2 weeks ago it dropped underneath there, and just kept on falling. The fast stochastic now is really accelerated, which is amazing because the slow one was the one that really just kind of dogged it for a while. And so normally, we thought, okay, Bitcoin may be having problems. Maybe we're not understanding it. But no, here's the S&P 500, and the S&P 500 was trying to rally, and Bitcoin was showing you at that same time frame, I guess you could say back here on the 16th of February, and see it again on here, the 16th of February. Where are you? There it is. The 16th. 16th was a peak. And it started to roll over a little bit. The next day was higher, but it made new lows. The next day was a little bit lower. Then we went into the sell here. And I'm like, what is going on? The stock markets are lifting and Bitcoin is falling down. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Now I understand it. The cryptos realized the issues coming in the future of a few days ahead, like it has been. In other words, cryptos have been, Bitcoin in particular has been leading the stock indices now for over half a year, maybe even longer at this point. So, I was like, well, I guess maybe they're breaking away for a while. But no, Bitcoin has been the leader, and it seems like it's staying the leader. It picked up that the stock market was going to have issues down the road, and, over time, over a couple-week period. And sure enough, it was right. It did it. It fell apart, which is interesting. So, thought I'd just mention that. All right, from there, we're going to slip over to a couple of pairs trades. We'll take a look at the euro. Right there, there's the euro, the second largest currency in the world and the second largest economy in the world. I don't know why they keep on saying China. It confuses the daylights out of me. Where they get those ideas, I don't know. Then from there, you can see we've been in the weekly sell here. Let's put it up on J4X. Now, I'm not trying to beat China up. I'm just confused why they give false information about it all the time. That's what it really comes down to. It's got nothing to do with liking or disliking. It comes down to trading and real product. Matter of fact, I saw I think I put it up yesterday. Mobius from the old Templeton. Was it John Templeton and Mobius? They had merged together the two funds, and then now they've put together a nice company. Obviously, John Templeton's passed away years ago, and at the same time, let's put Euro up on this. And the Mobius was saying he's having hard times getting his money out of China, so he invested in China. Remember, Franklin and Franklin was Mobius, and Templeton was the Templeton Fund, and they were big. They were like probably the biggest of the foreign investors in America when no one really was doing it. So like in the 70s and the 80s when everybody else was doing investing in U.S. products more, they were really leading the way in investing in outside the United States. And so they have a great experience at investing outside the United States. And so Mobius came out yesterday, and I mentioned this in yesterday's webinar, that they're having problems getting their money out of China. China won't let it go. Again, you can't be a world reserve currency when people say, I need my money, and you go, no. Can't have it. What do you mean I can't have it? It's my money. Yeah, but we don't, whatever excuse they use, and the end result is that you can't get it on the dollar. That's why when people make the statement about Japan or China or the European Union having, like $500 billion or $500 billion invested in America's bonds, they always say, oh, what if Japan and China start selling their bonds? It's like, we're in the era of QE. Who cares? They'll just the U.S. Federal Reserve will print money and buy them themselves if no one else will. That's what QE is all about. So, I'm always amazed. It seems like, am I the one that's crazy, or is it the world that's crazy? Am I the one that sees the reality, or is it me living in fantasy? That's the question mark. Am I really hallucinating this whole thing, or what? That's the way I always wonder about it. But in the end result, you can see the second largest economy right here, the European Union. It's a $21 trillion economy. And its currency is taking a break here, mainly probably because of the interest rate shift again. And we've shown you that the interest rate shift, overall, hasn't been that violent. It's a very tight-ranged action. You can see it here. It's not like it looks like the Turkish lira or something. It's pretty chill, really. It came off of these, historic lows here. Climbed up, and it's not exactly challenging anything. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is just an interest rate differential and nothing more. Oh, I wish Pro would come back. Pro, if you're out there, tune in again. We can go through and make sure you understand exactly what we're talking about here. Don't run away. There are no stupid questions. There are no dumb questions in trading and money. There are only long answers or short answers. That's all there is. All right. Then from there, we'll go over to cable. Was it about the third or fourth largest actively traded currency in the world? It's Japan is the dollar is first, euro is second, Japan is third, Britain is fourth, Canada is fifth. Is that right? That's right. Dollar, euro, yen, cable, Canadian. Yeah, Canadian is fifth. And then the Swiss kind of slides in there to number 6. And then I think the Kroner's in there is number 7. And then after that, it's they're way dead product, not dead, but they're quiet little currencies after that. Unfortunately, China doesn't seem to even fit into any of them. It's around 2.5% of world trade every day. Again, not beating up on them, just talking numbers here, traders. We're just talking reality. That's it. Nothing more than that. This is not like I love you, I hate you. This is just real numbers, All right, from the cable, let's put it up over here, too, on Chicago Quant. This is our proprietary, Robin and my work. right there. And you can see we've slid into the sell, was it yesterday? And it's not going anywhere at the moment. You know, it seems like that big initial push, was that a sell too? No, it couldn't have been because we had a green dot there. So there's an example for you, Pro. And so it went into the sell off of that. This was, see how plot 1 was the little white box there? It was a plus still. See? And plot 4 was a plus. Now plot 5 was a minus, but on the daily we're not paying attention to 5. Whereas here we are on the weekly. And you can see the weekly has been in that cell now for, you know, what's that, 4 weeks? There's 4 weeks right there. 5, 6 weeks. It's been in that cell ever since it topped out in here on that daily cell. It's been in the weekly cell that week also, and it's found its way to go down. And that's how that, you know, the math works there. All right, from there we slide over to the Swiss. So some interesting stories. You know, we talked about it a little bit there yesterday, and I'm a little surprised. You know, I always am. I answered a question. Someone emailed me a question from one of the old exchange days, and he said to me, he said, you know, he sent over something because of the grant report that he reads. And I said, can you imagine, you know, we're doing swaps with the Central Bank of Switzerland nowadays, and Lloyd's of London is basically the same as Lehman. So the world is really upside down. You know, the idea that we're lending money to Switzerland compared to us getting money from Switzerland is beyond my generation's acceptance. You know, it's like something's wrong with that picture. And at the same time, then you see not only the swaps, but we always thought that the Lloyd's of London was the Rock of Gibraltar. So the fact that it's basically bankrupt is even more of a freak out in my simple mind. All right. From there, we go over to the yen. Let's see what the yen is up to. And there's the yen. Oh, what is that? Turkish lira doing another crazy Ivan. Oh, geez. All right, let's get back to the. We'll go there in a few seconds. We'll take a look at it. But there's the yen. Yen slid into a buy here yesterday from the Powell testimony and the interest rate thing and the freak out and, you know, all that other good stuff. And that's why we put a line in there, Pro, like that, just reminding everybody that it slid into the buy. But if you're looking at the algorithm itself, I'll show you and I'll move it down for you. You can see that it's through the green and the histogram are through the zero line here. See, zero line. That's how that works. Ah, Timothy, what's happening? Yeah, let's get there. Let's get there. That's what I'm talking about. Let's shrink that down. Move that over more, like so. Slide it over like so. There we go. And then come over to here. Move that one. There's the 1 minute. Oop. And then there's the 15 minute. Let's put that up there too. Put that down there. There's the 15 minute. And there is the 1 minute. 1 minute's trying to get into the buy, but it did get into the buy right there. There we go. How's that? Now we'll go look around the neighborhood again. There we are. Now let's look at, where were we at? Oh, we were looking at the yen. Let's go back to the yen, and you can see yours right there. How's that, Tim? All right, you can see the yen, showing the pressure. It's in that weekly buy. Let's move that line. There's the zero line right there, just trying to emphasize it. 4 weeks now in a weekly buy. Went in a weekly buy here, a daily buy here, and then just kept on riding, And then the weekly joins in. You can see that right in here. And it just goes zoom, zoom, zoom. We put the line in at the end of the week just to show the confirmation of it. It's the interest rates, and Powell, and he's going to speak again today, and it's like, oh my God, what's he going to say now? He's got to say, he's got to get a backbone. He's got to man up, He's got to say, look, you politicians got to stop spending more money than God, That's all they're doing is burning the money. Yeah, it's been. You can see that they're trying to do a little bounce from yesterday. Look, there's a lot of underinvested people in this planet. In other words, money managers are being paid to buy, and they're not buying. So there's pressure on them. Every time prices go down, they've got to step up and buy something so they can tell their investors that, hey, see, I'm buying. But they've kind of missed it. They missed it. They kind of, were underinvested over the last 2.5 months, and because of that, it's really squeezed them. So every chance they have, when you have a sell-off, they try to come in and start to nibble. Because that's what their job is, to be invested. They're paid to be invested. Not to just take customers' money and sit there and do nothing with it. They're paid to invest with it. All right, from there we go over to the Turkish lira. Right there, look at that. Crazy Ivan again. Let's go look at it up on J4X to try to confirm that Crazy Ivan. That's a Navy term for following Russian submarines, where they would make, on the half hour, make moves in a different direction out of nowhere, trying to trick if anybody was following them, because they didn't have the ability to tell all the time if they were being followed. And, the submariners in the U.S. Navy would refer to it as a Crazy Ivan. Okay, yeah, it's got some spiky things going on there. Let's turn off the hinky for a second. That's pretty wild stuff. What's that? 2022 all the way down to 1993. It's not too wild, I guess, is it? It is. It's like almost half a handle. And at the same time, I mean, you got to wonder, when you look at the British pound, it goes up from 1.19 to 1.19 to 1.20. This thing can go from, 20 to 21, or 21 to 20, or to 20 to 19. Now, here's not reflecting it. That is not reflecting it. Let's see what the dollar pairs trade is doing, if that reflects the wildness. Reflects it more yesterday than it does today. Interesting. Pretty big wide ranges with a high of 19. What is that? 19 basically even, all the way down to 1880. Is that really, really wild? I guess it is. It's really thickerish. You can see that when we go back. See how tight it used to be? And then here you can see it really tight. You can see how tight it was. But you can still see the width right there. Where it's at now, because it's become very liquid. All right, and that's the Euro Turkish lira and the dollar Turkish lira, something we don't usually look at anymore because it's just too wild. But we always look at this. So they've been having some action. But this thing's showing all kinds of wild prices here in the States. Never looked this way before until they were giving out free put options to buyers, and now they've stopped doing it, I guess, and everything's falling apart. All right, from there we go over to two currencies that we look at. We look at the Canadian, and look at that. It's trying to get into the sell there. Looks like it's going to get in. It's got 15 seconds, and it's going to be in a sell. Your 1 minute. And the 15-minute is trying to do the same thing, but that still has. Oh, wait a minute! That's gonna tick off in 5 seconds. So we're gonna get a new bar on the 15-minute. Right there. Right there, we're getting a new bar, and it's pushed into the sell. Both of them are. No, that's the daily. The daily is not the daily. The 1 minute is in a sell from the close of that bar. And there you got that weakness going on there. Hey, Pro, if you're out there, just you don't have to talk. Just listen and enjoy. And if you have another question anywheres over the next couple of days, be my guest. We'll gladly answer it. We're always happy to talk to everybody. Doesn't matter what kind of experience you have or don't have experience. It means nothing to us. We're willing to talk about it all and try to clarify the action that we really are watching so you can understand it. All right, from there, let's drive over to where are we going? We're going to go take a look at the Canadian. Right there's the CAD. As you can see here, the CAD, spiking up, which usually means, we'll put it over here on J4X, means that oil, let's move that over a little bit too for you, Timothy, like that. At least you can see the edges of it. And let's put oil up on that. We'll put West Texas Intermediate up there for the time being. Right there. And you can see, it made a drop yesterday. It's pretty much up just a little bit today. But it has been going up in value, which means normally Canadian should be going down. Notice it's going sideways here instead of down. And now it's spiked up altogether. Now that we have had this big drop, it picked it up yesterday that the oil drop was coming, and you can see it yesterday both together, and it's took off even higher. What is it? Is it in a buy? Yeah, it's in a buy. The last minute was a buy. So it went into a sell here, dropped down a little bit, then turned around. It's in the buy there, it's in the buy there, and it's still in the buy in the 15. No. The 15 minute is in a sell. Is that right? I can't tell. No, it's not in a sell. So it's still in the buy here, still in the buy here, still in the buy there, still in the buy here, and still in the buy here. And I guess that's why we're seeing the strength here on the 1 minute, and there's the 15 minute. All right, now, so the Canadian is kind of fighting the trend overall with oil. Let's take a look at the South African Rand. That should be really moving up, solely because we saw gold took it on the chin yesterday like everybody else because of the interest rate factor. This interest rate thing is crazy stuff, Crazy, crazy. Let's see, we got a ding. Let's see what ding it is about. All right, so from there, you can see it's still moving up in here too, nicely. Where's that mouse at again? Right there, climbing nice. Still in the buy here, that 15 minute. We treat the 15 minute like a weekly. We treat the 1 minute like the daily. Let's see, the last 15 minute created a range opening. 15 minute grabbed liquidity down, then pushed up. Yeah, almost, almost tried to fall apart, It got very close. And it's still climbing too. Let's go to gold on J4X. There it is there. It had that same sell-off because of the interest rate thing. And the South African Rand is doing its best to head for 19. And if anybody knows anything about that news about the president in South Africa, let us know, because it's like a news blackout now. They won't even talk about it anymore. Nothing better than hot tea on a cold morning. All right, so that's the South African Rand. You can see it's moving up, and you can see gold over here on J4X moving down, down, up, and vice versa. So that's the metals complex. No, that's right. I wanted to talk about that when we got near metals. I understand that some Australian mint was selling. They sold $9 billion worth of gold to China, and it was not solid gold. It was gold plated. And so that's going to be definitely a Piccadilly of lawsuits somewhere along the line, because China government paid to get gold, not gold-plated bars. And some gold people have talked about this for years. No one believed it. But now the government has come out and said they're going to have to deal with that. Oh my God. You can't make these stories up. I mean, it's amazing. If you made these stories up, people wouldn't believe it. But they're real. That's the crazy part out of it all. All right. Let's see. Still pushing up. Yeah, look at that. And the weekly's still holding on to its weekly. Boy, it got very close to get into the... Where is it? Right here. It got very close here. It almost closed in the sell, but couldn't. Just could not do it. Missed it by, what was that, 0.000010. 4 zeros, not counting the fifth zero in front of the 0 point. Missed it by that much. All right, now from there we slide over to the Mexican peso, and then we're done the currencies, unless someone wants to see something in currencies. I'm glad to talk about currencies. Glad to talk about anything. Where are you at? Right there. There's the Mexican peso. Let's check her out. Let's put it up over here. Right there. And as you can see, the peso is popped up a little bit from that interest rate news yesterday, but it's turning around again and trying to head down, but not doing it well enough, because we're in the over the weekly number at the moment too, right there. So it's above the zero line, pushes it above the weekly number, the daily number. I'm sorry, daily number. The weekly is just, it's constantly just rolling over. Let's see, let's go like this. It's been in that sell since way up in here. Went into the sell, went into a buy for a week, and failed. And the fast stochastic refused to climb, so it's pretty hard to take it serious. This buy here, just knowing one thing is that you don't want to be long or short. You want to be neutral with something like that. And then it goes right back into the sell again here, and it's smackadoodle city. Bang, 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 bang. Down she rides. Yeah. Oh no. There we are. So now from the last currency, Mexican peso, we will slide over to, we can go, we're looking at gold anyway. Oh no, we were looking at gold. Let's look at, let's go through the metals complex and see what's going on there. So there is gold again, and then from the gold, put it up over here at the same time. There's gold. Went into the sell yesterday, and it's been in a weekly sell since here. So every time we got a buy, it just was like, just don't be short for this. And you can see the fast tried to get through the manifold, but it couldn't get through the line. So I kept on whistling in my back of my ear. I kept on thinking, this is not good. And sure enough, it's not good. We're right back down to the lows again after just a day and a half. After a week of battling, 6-7 days of battling up, just took one day to smash it back down to this area. All right, let's look at silver. There's silver, same situation. And it's sell for 3 days now, and sell from the 24 area on the weekly, and it has not ever turned up at all. It's stayed in the weekly sell all the way down and dropped underneath the negative time manifold. Our nonlinear time manifold. Nonlinear time. All right, and then from there, in other words, spatial time. And from there, we go over and take a look at copper. And there's copper. Trying to do a little bouncy thing from yesterday. You can see it's trying to bounce up, and we got a red dot. We're playing with potential daily buy again. At the same time, let's put that line in there too, like that. At the same time, we're looking at, this is the fourth week in a sell, which started up in here in the 420s area. And it seems to have breached the $4 area, I guess you could say, and then played around in the threes, 396 area. We'll see what it does again. All right, from copper, let's see what copper looks like over here on J4X. There it is. Same situation. Let's turn on the hinkies. There we go. See the pressure's on it. Green line through the slow dashed line, and pressure is down. Then, what do we got going on from there? Let's take a look at platinum. Platinum. Right there. It was showing life yesterday. It was showing life. We need to reload this thing. Something looks a little funky monkey about it. There we go. That's better. So yesterday's news drove it into a sell after looking like it was trying to get into a buy. There's the zero line. Fast stochastics had moved up. I thought, ooh, maybe this is a sign. I think I said that on Monday. This might be a sign that things are turning. This had turned right there to slow moving stochastic. Stochastic. The slow moving algorithm, which has a stochastic in it, but it's not a stochastic. And at the same time, the fast moved up. And then it was like, it stalled. From the news yesterday. Thank you, Mr. Powell. Bang, smash, pow. All right, from there, we go over to the energy sector. Let's see what the energies are doing. And there is crude oil. And it's relatively unchanged, up just a tad after the smackadoodle yesterday. Weekly is still in the weekly buy right there. This is the front month, April, which has another 5 days left in it. So today's not the 13th. It's the 8th. So it has about 10 more days left in it. So all this week we'll follow it, and going into next week, we'll at the end of next week, 2 more weeks, and that we'll be moving into the May contract. So you see that's trading at 77.28. Let's put Brent up on the J4X, and there is Brent, taking that same pounding. You see the line breaking, going down a whole bit, and then we look at June contract. We go out 3 months right there, and that's what is that? Let's go back to the other. The other is trading at 29, and that's trading at 45. So 16-cent premium in it now again. The premiums go from, like we've seen up as high as 60 cents down to almost zero. It's interesting to trade that premium spread. From there, the two oils, we go to nat gas. As you can hear, it's trying to go into a sell. It's been showing strength on the weekly basis for weeks now. And let's put it up over here. Brent, copper, gas. Right there it is. You see the pressure on it the last couple of days. And, it's... But you'll see on the weekly basis, it'll be lots of green. Right there. Oh, just 2 days. Okay, 2 weeks. But you can see the green line, too, turning up. Powell. They're talking about Powell and how he shook up the markets. Ooh, look at the 1 minute. I didn't even watch any of that. Let's get that mouse going again. So it went into the cell right there off the line. Goes into the cell here, and it's Smackadoodle City. Down, down she rolls. Did she get into... No, she can't. It's 15 minutes. So, still in a 15-minute buy, but now it is dancing underneath it, that's for sure. I wonder if that's a sign of, uh-oh, watch out type of thing, you know? Uh-oh, watch out. Oh, there... Hey, Janos! Did you improve the quality of the video somehow? I was playing around with some of the buttons. If I did it accidentally, I can tell you that. Oh, I did, yeah. What did I do? I changed OBS. You're right, I did. Again, it was an accident. Yeah, I switched the OBS from the opposite monitor off of this machine and moved it over to the other monitor, and it just seems to be much clearer now. How was your couple weeks? You're back. That's a good thing. Hope you everything was very good. I was thinking about you. I saw you up on Facebook. I guess it was on Saturday. I was going to text you, and then I thought, no, leave him alone. He's just gotten back. And so I knew you were back and safe at that point. News came out, positive numbers for dollar, hence the cable drop. Well, I don't know if it's good news. Oh, February ADP report. Is that what came out? Yeah, so it was 242,000 versus 205,000 estimated. They have Ed Hyman on, a legend in Wall Street. I haven't seen Ed Hyman in a long time. And he's giving his opinion on the whole thing. Got through the hardest part of the course, but failed to attend the final exam due to being in bed. Oh, bummer. Yeah, ADP. 242 versus 205. Yeah, get some rest, Giannis. Don't beat yourself up. Get some rest. He's talking about monetary policy now. God, I haven't seen Ed Hyman in so long. Hyman, I think it's Hyman. Ed Hyman. Yeah, let's throw him up there. I haven't seen him in so long. There are some legends of Wall Street that you just don't see anymore. You know, they were so successful, they kind of go underground, kind of like Doc. Ed Hyman. They're saying? They got his Guru Focus. Let's see. Insider trading based on ownership, SEC filings. Let's see. Let's get rid of that. Let's see if we can get his career up on the screen. He's well worth talking about. All they want to tell me is his net worth. I don't want to know his net worth. Guru Focus, Unbeatable Ed Hyman. Wow, that's a title. Institutional investors. Ed Hyman, the Unbeatable Ed Hyman Institutional Investor. Let's see. Click on that. I'll show you that one. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's a younger picture of him too. Cool. Ed Hyman. There we go. For 4 decades, Ed Hyman has been unrivaled among Wall Street's economists. His reign near its end? Question mark? Question, huh? It is truth universally acknowledged that Ed Hyman Jr. is Wall Street's greatest living economist. A nice guy, too. The former has been documented every October since '76. Institutional Investors newsletter. The latter most recently by everyone interviewed for this. After a total of 40 years on Wall Street as the #1 economic analyst. That is cool. He looks pretty good for 75. Well, he's like 77 now. He's like 10 years older than me. So, but that's Ed Hyman. Yeah, C.J. Lawrence. That's what. C.J. Lawrence was a legendary brokerage house. It's there's a couple of them out there that used to make Goldman Sachs look stupid. C.J. Lawrence. I'm sure they're still around. They're just probably hiding. Let's see. What else can we say about them? Anyway, that's who is on the screen right now. They're talking to him. It's always nice to see him. Let's see. Feel better. I intend to be back to the streams and work full time by 4:30, but this week one has to follow. Yes, I hear you. I know, I hear you. Just take it slow and steady, Giannis. Take it slow and steady. Get healthy. All right. So where are we at from here? We just talked about a legend. He's still talking too. He's a really nice guy. I met him once or twice at a couple different things on Wall Street. He was always intelligent, and I think I had an office in C.J. Lawrence's building at one time. I think it was with the guys from Chicago. What the hell are they? Brandt, with Harry Brandt. Harry, and I forget what his brother's name was. They were traders in Chicago, and they had opened up a clearinghouse in New York, and I had an office with them for a long while. All right, then we go from there. From that, where we're at, natural gas. From natural gas, I guess we could go talk about what else are we going to talk about here when it comes to the energies. Oh, let's do my favorite. Let's go check out that energy company down in the south of the European Union in Spain. They do tell us where the natural gas is. That's for sure. Let's see, where is it? Not there, not there. There it is, right there. It's been hanging out in the 26s. Let's see where it's at today. 2609 at 14. So it just shows us that the natural gas in Europe is basically moving sideways, not really moving around, and much more than what we're seeing in the futures contract here with the nice little bounce we had. We went into the buy here on natural gas and climbed and caught the low, and our fast and slow stochastic on the weekly gave us a good heads-up warning. Got through it, got almost instantly right here, right there. There was the buy there with the fast, and the slow was well beyond the time manifold, almost touching. So we felt comfortable being long in this thing. I was talking to Robin about it about a couple days before it started. I was like, oh, look into the oil, the natural gas ETF, All right, from there, where do we go from there? All right, that's done the energies. We did the metals. Let's take a look at the stock indices. Now, I started off towards the beginning of the webinar talking about the idea that Bitcoin, let's put it up on J4X here. Bitcoin right there. Bitcoin seems to be a real indicator of future events with the equities market. And so when Bitcoin started to break down in here back in the middle of February, it was truly accurate. It was having, it recognized the weakness. And then when we put the Bitcoin up over here, right there. There you go. It had some green going on. That was the peak, of course, on the 16th, and then we started getting into the sell, and I kept on wondering, what's wrong with Bitcoin? Nothing's wrong with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was reading the market well, because we were sitting there looking at the S&Ps, like I showed at the beginning of the webinar. They were trying to lift up, and I'm like, wow, what's wrong with that Bitcoin? It's like, it fell with the, there's the 16th there on the S&P 500, and it was following the, the Bitcoin, and then it started to pop, and I'm like, I guess it's breaking away. Nah, it knew better. The Bitcoin, as you can see right here, knew better. got sideways for a little bit and then broke. And over here, it said, no. So if we start to see some strength in Bitcoin, then chances are we're going to start to see the stock market try to turn back up again. All right. From there, where do we go from there? Let's go to the natural. We can go to the Tech 100. Let's take a look at it's holding very well, the Tech 100. It's not challenging any lows, and it won't challenge the lows over here either. Whereas the S&Ps have. Even with the interest rate, you can see here today. It's feeling it today. Yesterday, it couldn't get into the sell. Did it, or did it? Yeah, no, it didn't get into the sell yesterday. It just missed it. So, the Tech 100, who is well under invested, I can say that. In other words, people, were waiting for it to drop further. And there's that. Let's take a look at that October low. And there's the October low right here. And then it didn't take it out there, and it didn't take it out here. And it's trapped a lot of people in the mid-high 10s into 11 to watch it go all the way up to 13 and not be invested. So they're not so fast to throw it out the door this time around. They realize that that's the last thing they need to do. They need to be invested. And so you're not seeing the selling go on like it had gone on. So what else can we say about any of this? I guess that's about it. ADP came out. I don't think we have any news until tomorrow at the end of the webinar. What's today? Wednesday, right? Yeah, today's Wednesday. So Thursday, I guess we get an unemployment number on Friday, but we get the preliminary on tomorrow, and we got the ADP today. So did that put a charge into the stock market? Let's just take a quick look. Not real. I guess, yeah, you can see it here on the shorter term. So 5-6 minutes ago, it was down in the low 80s. Let's consolidate this a little bit so you can see the low in there. So it made its low in here. Then the ADP came out, and it lifted it up a little bit. And you can see our 15-minute, or not 15-minute, that's Timothy's 15-minute. You can see the larger algo right here, pushed into a sell off of this. It broke down, then it jammed up, and broke down, and now it's trying to get through the zero line there. So as long as it keeps on dancing like that, and you can see Timothy's work over here. It's went into the daily sell again there. Made that nice little low about 6-7 minutes ago, and it's trying to close with it. We'll turn this off at the end in a minute and like 50 seconds. This way Timothy gets a chance to see the new bar, and we'll go from there. So traders, I guess that's about it. What should we call this webinar today? I have to come up with something. I guess I don't know. We talked about a lot of interesting things. Let's see. Giannis says it will be about Powell today again. Yeah, I know. I had my title yesterday was. See what my title was? Powell will earn his pay. Oh yeah, Kennedy's something. Oh yeah, Kennedy. He's sharp. He's a good old country boy from Louisiana. He does a great job. I love him. He does a great job. Another sitting senator who says, "I would vote for term limits if you gave me a chance." And that then for sure. So, what do we got? About we got 37 seconds, and then Timothy will be able to see the next bar. So, this is Doc from North America saying, "Happy trails to you until we meet again," which will be tomorrow, which will be Thursday, heading towards the end of the week. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, Janos, glad to see you back, and we will see you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. And we got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And there it is, a new bar, and it is in the minus when it comes to the daily for the last 5 minutes. And for the 15-minute, it closed in a weekly 15-minute sell. Now let's see what kind of ziggy-zaggy. They try to take it up a little bit and then knock it down. That's usually, You know, you take them down and take them up and take them up and take them down. So, later, traders. Catch you tomorrow.